Alright, we got a storm coming. It's supposed to be hitting at 10 o'clock tonight and go through until tomorrow morning, I think till about 11 a.m. So temperatures are going to get down to about 5 degrees tonight here, Fahrenheit, and with winds up to 30 miles an hour, so we'll see how the tent does. We did have some pretty high winds this afternoon, and that tent is just incredible. I mean, there was like no noise out of this thing, which was great. So I'm able to get some sleep tonight, which would be nice compared to when I was in the Bighorn 3 and just never couldn't sleep. So we did go into town, get some groceries, powered up our batteries over at the laundromat. There's a laundromat that has some plugs, so I was able to get the battery all going. And then I want to do a review on that battery tomorrow because I've got a new battery that I'm rocking, a new solar station that can operate down to -4 Fahrenheit, and which is really great for winter camping because my other batteries were just straight up lithium and they couldn't operate if you got down below 27 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's a game changer for me out here. It's nice because it's a quick charge battery as well, so we'll talk about that tomorrow. But the plan this evening is just to hunker down. I don't know what I'm going to do for dinner. I might just do like tacos or something like that over the stove and just chill with Sierra. So wind's starting to pick up. The storm is coming in from the north here, so we're going to go ahead and hop in the tent and get our evening started. So let's go. Stuff it down in there, it works. See our stoves. More minutes. Another 3 or 4 minutes. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's nice and crispy. Not exactly the straightest cut there, but it'll taste the same. So the college that I attended is Kansas State University, and we used to always get our butts kicked by KU in basketball because KU was like the dominant school when for basketball, you know, when I was going to school there back in the 90s. Hey, sweetie. But what's cool now is Kansas State is ranked 4th or 11th in the country, and we've got a 15-1 record. So I'm watching the Kansas State Oklahoma State football or basketball game this evening, which is kind of cool. You want some pizza, little girl? I got some pizza right here. Oh boy! No, actually, you already had your dinner, sweetie. I'll give you a little bit here. Alright, we're going to enjoy our dinner and then chill out tonight, and then the storm's going to hit at 10 p.m. so we'll probably get up in the middle of the night and film a little bit, and then tomorrow morning it's going to be really cold. It's supposed to be, I think the temperature is around 10 degrees in the morning time with winds up to 35 miles an hour, so we'll see how things go. Hope y'all have a good night. Okay. Alright, let's get our breakfast going. These treats. Yeah, I want to mention one thing. With the medicine that I'm giving Sierra for her cancer, it can cause her stomach to be a little upset. And so what I do every morning is I got these are actually some samples that we go to this place called Paws and Claws in Prescott, and it's a really great store for cats and dogs and stuff like that. That's where I get her high-grade CBD. That's where I get the raw food when we're in Arizona, staying at our place. When we're on the road, I know, sweet girl. When we're on the road, I give her a dehydrated food that's ground up because it's easier to transport. But, so anyway, this guy named Roman, that I think he owns the place, he gave us some CBD chews, and then it's 7 milligrams of CBD just to kind of help Sierra with everything. And then also this probiotic, which is, let's get it focused. There we go. Probiotic, and so that helps her tummy out. And I noticed before I started giving her these probiotics that what she would do is she'd go outside, and every time we go for a walk, she would like eat grass, and that's a sign that I know. You want these treats right now? Okay, let's get you. So she would eat grass because that's a sign of like an upset stomach. And ever since I started giving her these, she doesn't do that. So the CBD is good, just for fighting cancer, and also just helping her overall body feel good, things like that. And then the probiotics are really great for her stomach. So you want some treats? Let's get you these. So that's how we start the day here. And once again, they're called treatables. Let's zoom in here. Treatables for both that and for the CBD. So just a heads up, just in case you want to give anything to your dog or cat. I'm sure they have them for cats too, but these are just for dogs. So I stayed awake last night till about 2 a.m. and then the storm hit about 3 a.m. And so I'm just really tired this morning, but we're going to power through the day, and I got a lot of stuff to do here around camp to get ready for the rest of the week. It looks like another snowstorm is hitting on Saturday and going through until Wednesday straight. And I talked to Barron on text yesterday. He and Elsa are probably going to cruise up here on Saturday evening or Saturday afternoon with their scamp and wood stove. We're going to kick it just like days of old and do some winter camping. But for breakfast this morning, I'm going to do bacon burritos, bacon breakfast burritos, and I know, Pumpkin, I'll get you some more. We can't eat all of them, but we'll get some bacon breakfast burritos going. And I use corn tortillas for that, and I'll show you why when we start cooking here. So let's get the bacon on the grill. Want some bacon? You already had some treats. Alright, we'll see what we can get you here. So I get these corn tortillas here, and the reason why I like these is you can toast them up and get them to the point where they're a little bit crispy, and then put your contents from your bacon burritos in there, and then when you fold them up, they hold the form, so they turn into like little taquitos, which is really awesome. So they're not messy, and I think they taste better when they're all grilled up. And so we're gonna throw 2 of these into the deep dish skillet. Well, actually, that's just one size. These are a little bit bigger than what I normally get, so we'll just do that, and then we'll throw some eggs in. Get some butter on here first. I go ahead and cook with the bacon grease in there. Reason being, I think it makes it taste the eggs and everything. Makes it taste better. Really happy to find eggs. Yesterday 2 days ago, I went into Salida, no, I guess 3 days ago. Went into Salida, all the grocery stores were 100% out of eggs, even the really crappy white ones that are gross to eat. So I went down to a town in the southern part of this valley and was able to find 3 dozen eggs, no problem. And it's a much better organic food store down there than what I experienced in Salida, so I'm just going to be going there going forward. But I've got enough supplies for about a week, maybe 10 days, and so we're just going to stay out here, relax, and have a good time. So when I'm cooking like this, what you want is a bunch of flames that basically are from the firebox licking up on the bottom part of the stove. And so I use things like this, what I call little cooking sticks, and they're not huge pieces of wood, but they're just enough to create, you know, fire coming up from the stove box here, or the firebox. And so you just go in here and just throw them on there, and that way you'll get really nice cooking temperatures that you can manage. And you don't have to throw like a huge piece of wood in there if you don't want to go through like some of your big timber or bigger timber. I want to use that like big timber at night. So, but essentially what this will do, let me show you with the camera here. So it'll create a bunch of flames licking up on the bottom part of the stove, and that creates the hotter cooktop. And then you can manage the temperature with your damper on the front here. So, just heads up. What you think it's here? You want some bacon? Let me get you a little piece. There you go. So with these tortillas, you want to get them kind of crispy, and then when you fold them over and put your contents in there, like I was saying, they end up making like a nice little taquito, and they hold their form. Another thing I want to mention too is I picked up this green salsa. It's Mrs. Renfro's green salsa, and this is so freaking good. And it's a hot one. I didn't see that right before I purchased it, but that's okay because it's not too hot, and it tastes awesome on, you know, any sort of breakfast stuff or anything really. I put these on the hash browns the other day, and I was like, man, it really made it come alive. So this is really good if you're looking for a really good salsa. Now, one thing I love about having a side table like this is it stays warm but not real hot. So when your food's getting ready to be done, and if you have something else that you're preparing for the meal as well, you can just move it over here to the side. It'll stay warm and kind of slightly still cook, but it won't be nearly as hot as what you have here. So I'm going to pull this up towards the front, and you can see, oops, these are starting to get a little crispy. This one is. It's a little bit more cook time. So we're going to pull all this food over to the right side here so that these eggs and bacon, it doesn't get overcooked. I think the tortilla is crispy enough, so let's go ahead and make this real quick. And I'll show you kind of how these end up holding their form. Oops. Oops. Making a mess here. You want to try to do this as fast as possible so that the tortilla doesn't cool,
because when it's still hot, you can kind of work with it a little bit. It's a little malleable. We're supposed to have winds, I think, up in the upwards of 40 miles an hour today, so it's going to be pretty loud at camp. Alright, now what you do with these corn tortillas is you just fold it over like this, and then you hold it, and then what it'll do is once it cools, it'll keep this shape. And that's the issue that I always have with the flour tortillas, is if you try to toast them like this, they get to the point where they're super flaky, and then they kind of break apart. So they don't hold as easy, and they can be messy. Now flour tortillas are good. I mean, any of these tortillas are awesome, but I just prefer the corn, so that's kind of what I do here. So you hold it for a little bit, just hold it in place, and then eventually it will cool enough to where when you take your finger off here, it will just hold.